Well, I guess that means it's time to get things started, right?
Let's begin.
The Prestige came out in 2006. It was directed by Christopher Nolan, written by Jonathan Nolan and Christopher Nolan. It stars Christian Bale, Hugh Jackman, and Scarlett Johansson.
This film is actually a lot better than it got credit for.
Considering that some worse movies have been made and they get higher ratings, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale do a fantastic job. Scarlett Johansson, she's fun to look at. Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
Check her out.
The actors are freaking phenomenal, including, of all people, David Bowie.
Very bizarre. I
mean, David Bowie has had some rough times in his acting career.
Dance, magic dance, magic dance, magic dance.
the thing is, though, is in this movie, you forget it's David Bowie. Like 3 minutes in, he does a fantastic job. I mean, like, I enjoyed the rivalry that they had going on between them, and I don't want to give away anything.
Plot spoiling, not really our specialty
we don't
around
really do
here.
that.
It walks a really delicate line between reality and fantasy that I found extremely tasteful. They never show you anything more or less than what you need to see. It's very rare to see a movie come along that gets everything this right, and I can really appreciate this movie.
But there's other things about the movie, like in bullet catch scene or whatever.
What you came for, is it?
On the thing behind Christian Bale's character, there it's announcing what other magicians will be performing, and it has Harry Dresden in there. He was a wizard in some books, but he's also the main character in the Dresden Files as well. Also, what's his name? Alfred Borden Robert Angier is Hugh Jackman's character. The initials are actually Abra.
Abracadabra!
Yeah, that was totally good.
The episode where Seth came out of the closet. Now, a concept this movie really plays around with is the suspension of disbelief. And this, The Prestige, being a movie about magicians, it's a concept that magicians rely on for their audience to participate in order to actually believe their trick. Because if they suspend their disbelief, then they actually become a willing participant in the trick, even though they know it's not real. Now, what this movie does, and it's really clever, is that it turns you into the audience of a magic show, and you are actually willing to suspend your disbelief in what's going on. You don't know what's real and what's fake, and you actually find yourself leaning towards the fantastical because you're like, you actually want this to be real magic, but you're not sure until the very end. So that is really cool how the movie turns you into basically an audience who is willing to suspend their disbelief, and it's awesome stuff. Genius writing.
That was very intelligently said. Myself personally, I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to give it 2 rewinds.
Choose.
Maybe not for all audiences because it is a bit dark. It does have elements in it that may be a little too weird for some people. But it's still really good, and I do think that you should see this film.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie the maximum I can, 3 rewinds, because what can I say? A burp came out.
Get up there! Get up!
3 rewinds, and I don't feel like I'm abusing my power at all because I think this movie really deserves it. It's genius writing, had me absorbed from beginning to end. I didn't want to look away from the screen. I was in the
Police car,
ambulance. Very unconventional. You don't see a plot line like this every day, so whenever something like this comes out of Hollywood, it really gets my attention. A nice, consistent, tight narrative, which is all I ask for in my movies. The editing is great, never shows you anything more or less than what you need to see, and I think that is wholly deserving of 3 rewinds. Christopher Nolan, great job.
Which of you brave souls is willing to bind this lovely young woman?